Hi everybody, welcome back to Watch Time. I realised it had been 5 months since I made a video last, so this video is going to update those who are still interested in this channel after all this time. So as you'll probably be able to tell from my original sort of content from years back, watches are my main thing, but in the last probably year and a half, I've started to collect other things as well a little bit. So the watch collection has diluted a bit, but in general, there are still some watches here and some more jewellery that you might find interesting. As this is primarily a watch channel, I'm going to show you what watches I have at the moment. So, as I said, I've really condensed the collection, so I'll present exactly what I have here. Some of them are familiar, some of them aren't at all. So this one out of its protected case. So these are the three here that actually see some usage and have a purpose. So this is quite a recent piece that I've just bought very recently. This is a Seiko from 1973, and as you can see, it's date. It's got these nice sort of 70s sort of pips here with squares and sort of black onyx like gems in them. 17 jewel movement, so it's not a very complicated movement. I like that it appears thick on the video, but it's actually very thin. I'll show you here. That's it there, so it's very thin profile, which I like. Obviously vintage, I mean 73 was, my maths is terrible, but 50 years ago now, so it's amazing really that this watch is still completely intact, working nicely. A little bit inaccurate, but not anything ridiculous. It has its original bracelet here, unless anyone could correct me on that. I'm fairly convinced this is its original bracelet. It's at least certainly a Seiko bracelet. So this is the main watch that I wear actually. I don't wear a watch every day like I used to. Since I started wearing a sort of ring like this, sometimes I just wear that rather than a watch and this. I know obviously you can do both if you like, but I don't like to have too much going on, you see. So that's a nice one. Didn't pay very much for that, it was about 60 quid. This one here is a Kaiser 25 rubies automatic watch. As you can see, it's not functioning. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it. The hands work when I pull it out correctly, so the hands move. Sometimes even the second hand does, but overall it doesn't function. It's taken a knock here, not by me, it was by whoever used to own it. I didn't pay anything for this watch, by the way, it was given to me. But it has a screw down case back. I'm not entirely sure where it was made. I don't think it has Swiss in it anywhere, unless I've just missed it. So, I mean, the word Kaiser is German for king, so maybe it's a German watch, but I don't know. Usually German watches, instead of saying rubies, refer to them as stones, which would be Stein, I believe. So I'm not really sure about the provenance of this one, but I love the design. I would like to get it fixed. But these days, that's usually pretty expensive. It's usually more than the value of the watch to get them fixed these days. So yeah, but it's nice to look at. Obviously, it feels a bit stupid to wear because it doesn't actually tell the time, you see. So they're the two wrist watches. By the way, everybody, you probably know along the way, since making the last video, I've had many watches, but these are what currently here. You may remember this one. This is I admit it's a sort of feminine sort of piece, but I absolutely love anything different like this. And this is a Boucherer pendant watch, or a fob watch, or whatever you want to call it. It's in amazing condition. It's likely to be an antique. I can't say that with 100% certainty, but again, fully functioning. I wear this with a suit. I'll be wearing it tomorrow. That's, you know, a rare and sort of, if you like, alternative sort of things. That's, you know, you can't get much more original than that. Although I do have this here, which again, feminine design, I'll not lie. I'll not try and convince you otherwise. It is a feminine design, but I saw this in a charity shop, and this is a bangle watch. A bit like a cocktail watch, where it's sort of regarded as impolite to look at the time when you're at a function, but you can secretly look. A lot of cocktail watches do that by having a very, very simple dial, which looks like it's just decorative. Sort of a common courtesy, sort of old-fashioned value there. So, but this watch was about £1, so doesn't really come at much cost. If it was 1,000, it might have been a silly thing to buy, but yeah, it was so cheap that I didn't really mind just having that for a bit of fun, to tell you the truth. So there's that one, and I think that might be the watch collection. So to many, other than the Seiko, that might be the purest watch collection of all time, especially in comparison to what I used to have, which is, you know, Rolexes, Cartiers, Omegas, all sorts. But you know, life does move on, and sometimes you have to put your money into other things, which for me was a house. So that's what happened there. Now, just for those who are interested, I'm going to show you a few more things here that I may not have shown before. I may have as well, but for anybody who likes money clips, as you can see, there's a bit of a theme occurring here, which is unusual items. So this is actually a money clip here. I'll sort of have to simulate how it works using this bag here, but basically the money goes in like that. Very unusual item. It's made of solid silver. I would go as far as to say that this may be one of the true keepers of my whole collection that will never go. It's just too unique, and I actually sort of like marine themed objects. So yeah, so that's a lobster money clip there. One of my favorite possessions, that one actually. What else do we have here? We have this is fairly or relatively cheap costume jewellery, I would say. This is something I can't part with, bizarrely. I just can't bring myself to sell this, even though it doesn't really have much sentimental value or anything like that. It does have real diamonds in it. These are actually not cubic zirconias or anything like that. These are actually real diamonds, not of a very high carat, but they are real. And I quite like diamonds, as you'll probably be able to tell from this and this. Not that they're real diamonds, of course. So it's like one of those ID bracelets. And I really do like bracelets as well. So that one there, and because it wasn't extremely expensive, it just doesn't hurt to keep it. It's not like it's loads of value sitting there waiting to be claimed, so I don't mind that one. This here is a bit of a sort of ostentatious blingy sort of ring. I got this from a market stall in the city I live in. It was very, very inexpensive. As you can see, it's a bit of a crazy statement. It has fake diamonds, a fake sort of gemstone, and it's made of like base metal, so it's very cheap, but it's just a bit of fun. That it was pennies, that one, so there's no harm in that. The one that I was actually wearing, this is just a sort of signet ring from Amazon. You can see here where I've filled it out to make it fit a bit better, which people always do. It's just made of steel. It's gold in colour. It sort of looks the part, but it's almost valueless. It's costume jewellery. So I do quite like that one. I've had solid gold signet rings before, but what tends to happen with me is I realise how much gold's worth and I end up selling them. So I've deliberately made a choice to buy them cheap now, because then I just don't sell them. I just hold on to them. The next is this one, which is quite a nice one. As you can see, it goes pretty well with this. So this is a solid silver 925 signet ring with a lobster on it, and hallmarked and all that sort of stuff, and it's gold plated as well. So this is more of a sort of wedding ring, finger ring on the left or the right hand for me. This does get a fair bit of use, as you can see. It's had a fair amount of scuffs. Most of the time it'll go on this finger here. It stays on quite well. So that's a nice piece to have. This was bought for me by a close family member, so it's a sentimental ring, sentimental piece of jewellery, so obviously that'll never go anywhere. So that's a for life collection. I think, actually, if I'm honest with you, the only stuff that is for life here so far is this one, and probably this one. I can't imagine I'll sell that. I might give it away, but I wouldn't. These three are ones I would never sell. This here is another solid silver ring. It was from somewhere in Europe, and it's not mine, it's actually my mother's. And I was trying it on and I just ended up asking to borrow it. So it never gets worn, but obviously it's my mother's, so that won't go anywhere. I don't think she'd be very happy if it did, but it doesn't really get worn, that one. Now this one is a very special piece of jewellery. This is my grandfather's solid gold sort of dress ring he used to wear. It has a red stone in it, but I don't know exactly what the stone is. Fully hallmarked gold there. Again, this has the little foam pads to make it fit better. He was a fairly big man, so it's quite big on me, so it fits this finger. Maybe in the future it'll fit other fingers better, but I always have a plan to turn this into a wedding ring if I get married, so sort of to keep it as a tradition, a family tradition. So that's obviously a keeper, that would never go anywhere. What else? We do have a few other things, I'm afraid. I hope nobody's getting too bored. This is I don't know if, depending on where you're from, you might have heard of this company, but Alfred Dunhill is a very high-end men's things maker. Clothes, wallets. They used to make some really nice watches as well. I remember, again, my mother had an Alfred Dunhill watch. And this is, as you can see there, this is a solid silver money clip. I've had this for, God, 12 years or so. And I got this off from my dad. I was going through a phase of loving money clips at the time. So that's something, you know, the price of silver, the value of silver is very, very poor. So if you like a piece of jewellery that's silver, it's better to hold on to it, because you're not going to get a lot of money for it. So that one's a keeper as well. This is a signet ring which has my niece's fingerprint on it. Maybe I shouldn't show that on YouTube. God knows what AI can do now. So that's that one. That obviously wouldn't go anywhere either. This is just a very plain silver wedding ring style ring. Obviously I'm not married, but I've had this for many years as well. Coming on 10 years. Okay, let's see what else we got. This here is a antique coin pouch, at least 100 years old. I got it from an antique shop. It is not precious metal, but it's real gun metal made in France. It's just an unusual item. I imagine at one time this was what a wallet is now, to hold coins in. It has a loop here to hold that you could use to fasten it to something more secure. Just an unusual item. I really don't imagine that would go anywhere. It wasn't particularly expensive. There are some unusual coins in here, but I'm not a coin collector. I don't really want to part with them. They look good. They're a fancy coin, so that's the reason they're there. So we're coming to the end of the collection. To me, this seems like a lot of stuff, and I don't always want to have loads of stuff, basically. But I suppose you haven't got to overthink it. It just is what it is. Some other potentially interesting items are, if you're a John Mayer fan, that's from his last world tour, I believe. No, it wasn't. It was the last world tour he did, having a full band lineup. So that's, I wouldn't say it's valuable, but it's a sentimental piece. Okay, getting towards the end now. I know there's a market for everything collectible on YouTube. These here, this is a mechanical pencil and a fountain pen. They're not Schaefer, they're just in a Schaefer box. These are actually Parker pens and Parker pencils, sorry. These are vintage as well. They look like that Bakelite sort of material, but I don't know that for sure. I'm just speculating there. So you can see, as you can see here, the pencil still works. Well, they both work, but the pen doesn't have any ink in it. But it's they're lovely to look at, the lovely pieces of, well, writing materials or whatever you want to refer to it as. So they're quite nice to have. They don't get used, but they will. Now I'm looking at these, I want to start using these. So they're part of the collection. Again, I cannot bring myself to part with them. I've thought about selling them before as a pair, but I'd rather, to be honest with you, I'd rather just keep them, I think. So they're not going to go anywhere either. Now, we've got a few more items here. I realised I forgot a watch. So this here is a Bernex. I would probably say Bernet because it is a Swiss-made watch. It's more likely to be pronounced Bernet, I believe. Now, as you can see here, I think it says 17 jewels, Inca block. I see Inca block in a lot of places, but I don't remember what it means. The reason I got this is because, first of all, it was very inexpensive despite looking so nice. And secondly, because it looks like one of my favourite watchmakers in the world, which is Breguet. It looks like one of their pieces or something they would make. So that's why I love it. It's very, very thin. I can't put this on my wrist because the back has come off and I can't get it to go back down. I need to take it to a watchmaker to get it pressed back on. But it's a lovely piece. You can see it's been used a bit. It's got a bit of a scratch on the glass there. But I thought a few times about selling this. It's not valuable. I think I paid £30 for it, which was a good deal. Maybe I could get that money back because it is a nice piece and it's in great condition once the back gets put back on. But yeah, it's even got a fairly pretty movement as well. I sort of like that. It's nice that it's gold. You can see the rubies there as well. Very basic movement, but really nice actually. The only problem is it's got one of those plastic keepers in, which cheapens it somewhat. But yeah, it's nice to look at. It came with a nice box as well actually, and you can see there's the back there. I've tried numerous times to get the back on using various tools, but I just can't. So I need to take it somewhere before I break it. Now, 2 more items and then I will leave you. So anyone who's into jewellery might recognise this company here. This is a company called Fred, a French company. They make all sorts of jewellery, earrings, bracelets, rings. They even at one point made watches. What they're arguably most known for is these things here, these bracelets. I can't remember what the exact model of these are, what they refer to as. But basically, this piece here detaches from the rope part, and this is where the value is. This is 18 karat gold, this little bit here, as you may be able to see by a few hallmarks here and there. It's fairly hard to see, but yeah. So I got this from Goldsmiths, and I really like the design of it. It was very expensive, if I'm honest. It was so expensive that I really don't believe I would recoup the value if I were to sell it. So it's probably a keeper, this as well. It's nice that you can change these straps for pretty much any colour, and they're very easy to change or interchange. And I know some people, these are very expensive, as I said before, so including just the rope part is very expensive as well. But I know there's people out there who have an assortment of colours and they just interchange them for whatever they're doing, whatever matches an outfit and whatever. So it's quite nice, yeah. Very expensive though, but for that reason it probably won't go anywhere unless these go massively in value for some reason and it becomes really worth selling. Okay, last item By the way, all this stuff here, this is the stuff that I'm not selling. I've got loads of stuff which is for sale. If you want to see that stuff, then please let me know and I'll make a video. But last one for now is this Saint Laurent leather cuff. As I've mentioned before, I like unusual items. I got this from Selfridges in London. I've never seen anything like this before. So it's a bangle. As I was saying, it's made of leather. So it is unusual, I will give you that. But I like it, and this is yet another thing I can't bring myself to part with, which probably means that I'm supposed to keep it. So I've had this since January or so, was it? No, December. And yeah, does it get worn? Yes, it does sometimes. Not often, because I'm worried about ruining it, which is stupid. But yeah, so that's that as well. Saint Laurent, it was expensive, this as well. So what I'm going to do to finish off is I'm going to make a couple of piles here. So I'm going to one side, obviously, let's be quite frank and honest here. The monetary value of things does come into play. It really does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on this side, once I move this stuff over, if you bear with me in 1 second, I'm going to put on this side here the stuff which is actually valuable. So first of all, the Fred bracelet. Secondly, the Saint Laurent bangle, but arguably not particularly valuable, this one. It was expensive to buy, but its resale value, you'd be losing most of your money. This one, maybe a little bit more hope in it. Other valuable thing, obviously a solid gold ring is valuable. In terms of this piece here, it has a little bit of value in it because it's a Boucherie watch movement. So this sort of goes in the middle. I mean, what else really? I suppose you could argue that a Seiko watch will always sell for something okay. So I'm going to put it from a valuable to not valuable. So this one, sort of, these two are sort of here. I don't think this would ever sell anyway, so it's sort of a pointless exercise in that case. And then you get into silver things, which if you sell them as a piece of jewellery, they can do okay, but still not particularly good. So bits of silver there, yeah. I mean, we've got this bracelet here with real diamonds in, that's okay. We're getting down to stuff like this. If somebody was particularly a sort of antique relic collector, I don't know, maybe. And then we're sort of getting into the bottom end here, so we've got watches like this one, which look nice, but they're not valuable at all. See, this is silver, so if you sell it as jewellery, it's okay. You've got this here made from stainless steel. This is a bit of silver. Then you've got a bangle watch here, which is not worth anything, basically. Let me just move this along a bit. You've got this base metal ring. You've got this non-working dress watch here. So really, that's sort of the spectrum of value. In terms of what I would keep, regardless of all that, well, as discussed, these three things, so they're taken off the table already. I would sell the Seiko if I got bored of it or wanted something different. I wouldn't sell this, and I wouldn't sell that, or these. Wouldn't sell that. This isn't mine, so that leaves the equation. As I said, I find it too hard to sell that. I would probably sell this to the right collector. I wouldn't sell the John Mayer badge because it was it's sentimental value. This watch I would sell if I were to recoup the value. This, I suppose I would, but I'm probably not going to. I'll probably just keep that. This one I would. It's non-working, and I don't think that I want to pay to get it redone. This potentially I would sell, yes, and this bangle watch I would sell. So realistically, when it comes down to it, everybody, my actual collection of what I will keep and what I'm happy to keep is this stuff here. So I'm sorry, by the way, I realise I've done this in a very silly way, but this stuff here including the pens, is what I actually want and what I feel really belongs to me, because it's by absolutely no means on sale. So basically, out of all of these things, if I'm brutally honest, the only stuff which has any monetary value is this here and this gold ring here. So in terms of what my collection is worth, well, all it's worth is whatever these two things are worth here. So I guess the point in this video is how slimline and basic my collection is now compared to what it's been in the past. It's basically a tiny, almost, other than sentimental value, valueless collection. So I suppose this is sort of therapeutic for me as well. It lets me see everything in perspective and see where I am with it and what comes next and what doesn't come next, and whether anything should come next, whether I should just try to keep it here, because I have a major problem with buying things and then taking them back because I realise, well, I just don't know if I actually want this. You know, I've got 3 things just there that I'm going to take back. So I suppose this sort of puts in context what it is I really want. And I hope that this video was somewhat interesting for some of you. I mean, I would probably encourage you to do the same thing and maybe have a look at what your collection is of jewellery, or, you know, whatever it is you collect, and just to have a good think about what it all means and put it into context and see where you're at with it. So yeah, it's quite a therapeutic sort of journey, that is. So if you have any questions or you're interested in any of these items, please do let me know. As ever, I do apologise for the lack of sort of editing ability, and I recognise that I probably repeat some of the same words a lot, and very low production value and all that sort of stuff. So apologies if that's a bit irritating, but I'm also dropping stuff. But yeah, if there's anything that interests you, you want to know more about, or any points you want to make, or any, you know, if you can send me a link to whatever your collection is, I'm always very interested to see what other people are into. That's part of the fun for me, to get new ideas and to sort of go off in a different direction with it. So please let me know what your thoughts are and what you're currently collecting, and I will see you all next time.